What's going on, everyone? So, the upcoming Scream 7 is going to be a Sidney-focused film. I'm really excited to kind of see how do they get back to telling a Sidney story. Now, look, I'm somebody that has talked about in the past that I want them to move off of Sidney. I still do, right? I love Sidney, right? I grew up with her, right? Like Neve Campbell, right? I was a 90s kid. But at some point, right, all good things come to an end. I want the Scream franchise to kind of continue to play on. And so I like the idea of kind of creating and establishing these new characters that you can kind of proceed and move forward with while, you could still have Sidney in the film, but at some point I'd like to see her kind of just be, that cameo rather than kind of the main focus. But given the circumstances leading into Scream 7, the safest route was to bring back Neve Campbell. And so I'm all for it. I'm on board. I just wanted to clear that up because I know I've said on several occasions in the past, but I am on board for this particular film, this scenario. There's a lot of talks about them, wanting to do a trilogy centered around Sidney Prescott. Again, I wouldn't mind it. I just want a good story, right? That's all I want. I've been very critical of Scream 5 and 6. I've not been a huge fan of Scream 5 and 6, which is really unfortunate because I'm a big Scream guy, right? It's my favorite horror franchise. I mean, I've built this channel on the back of Scream in a lot of ways. So I want to see it have success. I want to see, Scream be able to kind of keep the ball rolling. And you're supposed to have this Kirby movie. And, we already got confirmation for Scream 8. And it's like, you have all these things that are, developing in the Scream universe. I want good Scream movies. So it makes sense to keep doing it. Right. But with Sidney Prescott, it's like, okay, well, how prominent is she going to be in this film? Like, is this going to be just like a full-fledged Sidney film? What are they going to do about Gale Weathers, right? How is this going to play out with the legacy characters? Because they have not done a great job with the legacy characters at all. They've not done a good job of, like, in Scream 5, having Sidney Prescott in it, right? Like, yeah, it was cool to see her. It was great to see her, but, like, she served no purpose. Like, she didn't do anything to drive the plot. Like, the only thing that she did was, like, put the tracker on, but, like, after she puts the tracker on, she, like, looks at Gale and goes, like, I learned it from you. So Gale could have just done it, right? The only thing that was, like, cool that she did was, like, shoot through the doors. Like, that was cool, right? Like, in the I'm bored, right, type thing. Like, that was cool, but, like, that was very Sidney-esque. But even her saving the day, we knew that, you had Mindy still alive. So, like, Mindy could have done it. And it would have made more sense and been a nice callback to the original Scream where Randy was supposed to be the hero. He was supposed to be the hero, kiss the girl, get the girl at the end, right? And then they changed it because they thought it was a little too soon. Like, Sidney's boyfriend just massacred the entire town and now she's going off with Randy, right? So they changed that for those purposes, right? Look at Scream 6. You have Gale Weathers. Like, what did she do in the film? Right? Like, I love Courtney Cox. I love Gale Weathers. But, like, she, again, served no point, no purpose. She was just there to be there. Like, the only thing she did was discover the shrine room. But the killers, you had Dermot Mulroney's character, Detective Bailey, said himself, right? Like, hey, I was going to reveal it to you. But she just beat me to it. But it didn't even, like, foil any plans. Like, it would have been so much cooler if they showed up and one of the killers was there. Maybe somebody gets killed and taken out there, right? And it's like, oh, like that would have been a really cool scene. Like they're exploring, they're looking around, they're doing all that stuff. And then Ghostface is like running through because, he wasn't expecting or she wasn't expecting, 10 people to show up, right? Like it would have, at least would have driven the plot. Somebody would have died. There would have been consequences, right? Like, so I have my concerns about how are they going to kind of build and elevate Sidney and Gale. Well, we got some news. This comes from Jude Jajora. Probably butchered that. Like I always say with all this stuff, take this stuff with a grain of salt, right? Take all of these kind of rumors and reports and all these things. But I've seen a lot of like people that I know that I'm familiar in the space, like all kind of share this same kind of report. It's just this is where I saw it from, was from Jude. So wanted to kind of relay it, but I've seen other people talk about it. Again, take it with a grain of salt as always. But Neve Campbell dominates Scream 7 with 40 plus minutes of screen time. Courtney Cox hits the 20-minute mark, nearly matching her Scream 2 appearance. So, again, take this stuff with a grain of salt. But if that's true, I'm all for it, right? You gotta pick a lane. I feel like these Scream films have kind of been one foot in, one foot out in a lot of ways. Right? If we're going to lean heavily into Sidney and Gale, lean heavily into Sidney and Gale. Have them be the focal points. Let them be the characters. Right? Like Scream 4, right? Scream 4 is kind of mixed. It has like their, it has its fans and it has people that despise it. I'm kind of indifferent. Like, I don't hate it. It's not my favorite Scream movie, but I like it. If it's on, I'll watch it, right? It's not, I think it's better than 5 and 6 personally, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, this is a masterpiece, right? Personally. Know a lot of people do and love it, and that's great. I love that you love it. Maybe it's your favorite Scream franchise. Like a lot of people love and have that up there, right? I just personally don't. But one of the things that I do give Scream 4 a lot of credit for, right? A lot of fours in there, but is the character development and just kind of having the buildup of what was at the time appearing to be your new final girl, your new transition character, building up that character while also giving the supporting legacy characters enough development and character and story and whatnot, right? They did a really good job of Scream 4 balancing the new cast and that potential new generation with the, returning cast and the legacy characters in Dewey, Sidney, and Gale, right? And for whatever reason, even though you have the blueprint sitting right there in Scream 4, they were unable to do that in Scream 5 and 6. They were unable to balance the, legacy characters with the new characters and cast, right? So, okay, fine. If you can't do that, then then just go all in on new characters, right? Or go all in on the returning characters. This seems like they're going all in on the returning character, on, Gale and Sidney, right? Sidney being the main focus. This film's probably going to be, hour and 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours at most. And she's going to be in it half the movie, right? So that's good, right? You want her, especially if this is going to be a Sidney-led film, a prominent Sidney movie, you want her to be in the film, 50% of the time at least, right? Because you can have other characters that you're developing, you're telling all this other story and stuff like that. A lot of these characters are going to be building alongside Sidney. And the thing is, too, is like, get back to dialogue, right? Like, you look at the classic Scream. How did they build all of these characters that we love and are beloved? I mean, obviously, they had multiple films to build up, but the original Scream did such a good job of character development. Like, who these characters are. You really build on these characters, right? Like, there's a character that everyone can identify with, right? You look at kind of like the core form stuff. Like, we've had them for 2 movies, and I still don't know who Chad is. Like, I know, like, things about him, but I don't know who he is as a character. Right? The guy's been 5 different versions of himself in these 2 films. Same thing with Mindy. Outside of her just, like, going on long tangents that lead to nowhere, what is she as a character? We get it. She's a movie lover. She's a movie buff. She's, supposed to be the voice of the audience, stuff like that. Right? Randy, we knew who he was as a character. We knew his love obsession for Sidney Prescott. He's kind of this dorky, nerdy kid, but because Sidney and them love him, he kind of gets to hang out with the group, but he's kind of the odd man out, right? And, he has this, infatuation with Sidney, but Billy creeps him out, right? He works at the video store. He's hooking up with Karen Kolchak, right? We know all these little details about Randy and who he is as a character. He's a little awkward, but a little goofy, right? Thinks he's a comedian, right? Like Billy is the dark, mysterious guy, kind of edgy, like, like almost greaser type. Like, you knew who these characters were. Gale was the cutthroat reporter that would slit your throat in order to get the story across, right? Like, all of these characters you built, but a lot of the buildup was just through dialogue. A lot of the buildup was just through general conversation, right? I mean, you very rarely did you see characters alone or just in pair, right? You see Randy and Billy and Stu in the video store, and you get, like 3 minutes of dialogue, and you're getting who Billy and Stu, but you're also getting little Easter eggs and clues on who the killers are, right? Like, it was just very well crafted. Can we get back to that? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.